Good morning. Welcome back to our channel and to a new program here. This is Dan coming to you from the Solitude group. And before we get started, I just want to welcome each and every one that has joined us and that will join us later. And we did try to put the invitations out to the other platforms as we're here on YouTube today. And I just want to wish everyone a happy new year. 2025 is here now. You know, time rolls on rather quickly, doesn't it? So we do have a full program for you today, and I just wanted to also welcome each one of you from the different areas that you come from, whether you're atheist, agnostic, Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, whatever your walk of life is. We want to take time and honor that. And we also want to welcome all the LGBTQ plus folks that join us from time to time. And you're always welcome here. Your comments are welcome here. And just know that you have, you're here in our home, and you're all welcome. And so we're just so happy. We do pray over each video that it goes out to the folks that would like to see it and that need the information, as we strive to promote content that promotes that better lifestyle, that purposeful life that we're all after, I think. And so with that in mind, we'll get started. I did want to mention our email address if you're not comfortable using the comment section. You can contact us at solify861@gmail.com. Again, solify861@gmail.com. And so with that in mind, we will continue with our program. And so the last couple of weeks, we have talked about a lot of really neat subjects, from the time you are spiritually awakening to healing, all the different modalities, to, self-awareness, which is critically important, and mindfulness, how to get all those wounds and all the things healed up, in our emotional field, to better manage our vibrations, our frequency, and that beautiful magnetism, right? And so again, this is going to be a lot of content, and if you want to watch it over and over, that's great. That's why we post the videos. And from time to time, you'll see us also have some interviews as well. And you can, of course, replay those at your discretion. Well, the last couple weeks, we have talked about finding that beautiful purpose. If you are one that follows this channel, the very first premier program that we did was What If I'm the Answer, which goes into finding that beautiful purpose, what you're meant to do in life. And we discussed that if you don't know, it's okay, but it's sort of like being on a ship, right, with no chart or no compass. You're just sort of floating, meandering around the ocean, and you're not really sure where you're going to end up. You're not sure what you're going to do. And sometimes that can be rather precarious, right? So we want to talk about today another very important subject. I did get a few, not letters, but, comments on asking the question, why does Spirit or Source, whatever you resonate with, God, why do we have to be in solitude sometimes? And this is a very, very good question, and one that needs to be addressed because I think people, those folks that are healing, realize that sometimes people, places, or things can't follow our new path, right? And so it's because we are, as you're healing and as you're going through the shifts of vibrations and frequency, and you're rising, you're going to a new timeline. Sometimes if those people that are with you don't rise with you, or they have their own journey, and we all know that each person has their own journey, sometimes they just can't follow you, they can't come with you. It doesn't mean that it will always be that way. And maybe you're meant to reconnect at a later time. And that goes with things too. Sometimes we have to, get rid of all the things in our life that just can't follow us on our new path or our new journey. And many examples, there can be many things. But I wanted to specifically address these questions in a video, and to give you some examples, and it's actually a beautiful thing that God does for us. And again, I want to say that sometimes I'll use the term God, Spirit, Source, Universe, and so whatever you resonate with is completely fine. I just don't want to have a long list to repeat out, right? And so when I say God, I'm saying interchanged with Spirit, Source, Universe, Higher Self. It might be Buddha that you adhere to the teachings of. You could be a Muslim as well, and we understand that you're going to have your own path that you follow. And we're going to talk during the video about those core beliefs. I'm not here to change your belief system, so relax. I'm not here to say you're right or you're wrong, okay? Because that's not what we're about. We're here to promote the content of living a fulfilled life. And so, of course, we know that you can do that from many walks of life. Okay, so when I was discussing this very criteria with someone, kind of texting back and forth, it made me think of a biblical story of Moses, because in Exodus chapter 3, we know that God had called Moses to the mountain. You remember the burning bush. In order to be able to speak with Moses. And we know that Moses' purpose was to deliver the children of Israel from bondage from the nation of Egypt. And, these people had been in an indentured situation for hundreds of years, actually. And it wasn't going to be an easy task, right? So Moses is the person that God chose. And so as we figure out what our purpose is, many times we address God and we say, I don't think I'm that right person, I'm not an eloquent speaker. I'm not, I don't know how to do that, or I don't have any experience. Well, God, Spirit, Source, pardon me while I play with the camera here, He's not asking for polished people. When God calls us to a certain purpose, He's looking for a willing vessel. He's looking for the willingness, the one that wants to serve, the one that, most of us long ago decided what our purpose is going to be. It wasn't one, it wasn't just God saying, you're going to do this and you're going to. No, most of us have a say in that. There's something called free will, and we, signed up for that. That's what's purposed inside of our heart, and so sometimes we're placed in a solitary in solitude for a specific reason, and sometimes that solitude for some of us can look different than for others. So sometimes solitude for someone, and you have a lot of responsibilities. Maybe you're running a company. Maybe you have children. Maybe you have responsibilities wherever, and sometimes you can't do that all at once. And for others, it's a good idea to pack your things up and go spend time alone, only you and God. And so that is to be determined by yourself and, of course, that higher power, God, Spirit, Source, universe. And so anyway, back to the story of Moses. You can read all about the story of Moses. We're not going to go and read all of it. But there are a couple of verses I wanted to call your attention to. And in chapter 3 of Exodus, I believe it is, and verse 11, it says, and Moses said unto God, who am I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt. So here we see that Moses was already at the burning bush. He was already trying to tell God, I'm not your man. Who am I to go and demand that, Pharaoh, who is a very powerful ruler, Egypt was a very powerful nation at that time. And so Moses, I believe, was humanly looking into the situation like, okay, so you're going to send me and I'm going to go before a whole nation of people and demand that this group of people be released. So here we find the correlation I want to bring here is, what about us today? So many times when we're asked, when we start searching our heart, right, and we start coming into that private place with God, we find ourselves doing the same thing, if not worse, right? Just saying, well, I can't do that. I can't, I can't get away. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a entrepreneur. I'm not a, whatever it is that your purpose is. And each person has their own purpose, okay? And so we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we start discussing authenticity, but because the more authentic you are, and the more you're speaking your truth, the more you're going to realize that purpose is going to unfold right before your eyes, more and more and more. Now, in the beginning, when you're finding that true purpose, you're going to realize that little bits and pieces will sort of unfold, and you'll know in the general direction anyway, because a person's true purpose is something that resonates deeply with that person's heart and soul. So you're going to already kind of know what direction that is, and then as you start working in that direction, God is going to unfold more and more of it. Well, Moses had some issues. He did, like we all do. And so if you remember the story of Moses' mother, in order to save him, if you remember that time frame in Egypt, they were trying to they issued an edict that all firstborn male children of the Israelites would be unalived. And in order to, you remember the Passover, the whole idea of the Passover. And so Moses' mother, weaved a basket, prepared the basket so he wouldn't be found out very easily, covered him in blankets and actually some dirt so that if someone did kind of look in there, they wouldn't see that it was a baby. So she floated him down the Nile River, and lo and behold, the servants of the sister of the Pharaoh found little baby Moses and took the baby to the sister of Pharaoh, and she decided she could not have a baby, so she decided she would adopt this baby or keep the baby and raise it as her own. So Moses was actually, to make a long story short, Moses was actually raised in the palace. He was given that royal education, and Moses rose to such a rank that he was one step under Pharaoh. And as a matter of fact, there was great jealousy between Pharaoh's son and Moses. And Moses built many cities. He was a very big man in the nation as far as stature goes. And so to make a long story short, Moses started figuring out if he was adopted, who was his real birth mother? What were the circumstances? And so the more he dug, he found that he was actually a Hebrew. And so he, dug a little more and found his family, found his immediate family, which was from the tribe of Levi. And so as he was visiting his family, he realized the plight the children of Israel were in. They had been enslaved for quite some time, hundreds of years. And so one day, as Moses he was a man, of course, and he saw a high-ranking Egyptian beating, an Israelite. And so he hid out in the bulrushes there, and when no one was looking, he unalived this military Egyptian. And so he got scared, as probably anyone would, and so he fled. He ran into the wilderness, and their God actually was the one that led him there. And he spent 40 long years there. And so in the meantime, Moses got married. He went from place to place in the wilderness. He was the keeper of the sheep of his father-in-law, the woman he married, the father. And so he went from place to place as God was teaching him all of the things that he needed to be, some things needed to be purged out of Moses, right? So just wanted to go back a minute to the burning bush. Moses gave every excuse why he couldn't do this one purpose. He had a bit of problem with his speech. He had a stutter about him, so he felt like he would not be the best one to represent God, and trying to get the children of Israel released. And, he said, I'm slow of thought. I just, thanks God, but I just don't think I'm the right person. Well, God kept on and on. And so one of the reasons he led him into the wilderness for so long, Moses had a lot of things to be purged out of himself. And that was, anger, humility. He didn't have humility. He was a proud person. Remember, Moses was raised as royalty. And so you don't have to let your mind wander too far to understand, the concepts, how he probably thought. But there was a lot of things he had to purge out of Moses, like anger, unforgiveness, all these things. And so what about us? This is the crux of the matter here. What about you and I living in the times that we're living in right now, right? What do we have within us that need to be worked on, that need to be healed, that need to, once and for all, be healed up where we can move forward in the kind of life that, Spirit, Source, Universe wants us all to have. And so solitude actually can fuel finding that purpose, that creativity that we all need. And it's like putting a blank canvas in front of yourself. Excuse me. I woke up with a slight cold this morning, so bear with me. I'll probably end up losing my voice here. But solitude can actually, add fuel to that creativity that you already have. And this is what brings the aha moment, as you're searching for, like, you're trying to figure out what it is. What is it, God, that, that I'm supposed to be doing? And so solitude actually gives us a time, that valuable time that we can have that self-reflection that we need with our inner soul. Now, this is the very reason, you've heard me say it over and over, and I hope I don't sound like a broken record, but it's very necessary to repeat it. And that is, we have to operate from this beautiful heart space that we have, not up here in the head. Because when we're up here in the head, excuse me, I gotta... When we're up here in the head, by and large, you're going to be back there in the past, okay? And the reason being, our minds are made to be analytical, not for emotion, not for managing the emotion. The heart space is where we need to be. Our soul, okay, we all know that we're human, but we also have a divine side called our soul, right? So we need to be inside of ourselves so that we can connect with our inner soul, our inner being. And this is what will help you with a lot of things. And finding the purpose, it's a paramount one. But also, there's nothing on the outside that we need. We have everything in here that, that we need. We're source. We're universe, having that specific reality, right? We have our whole team here, angels, the Holy Spirit, the consciousness of Jesus Christ is all within us. And so solitude is actually not something to fear or to wish we didn't have to go through, or of that nature. Now, you may be in total solitude, like I mentioned before. You may have needed to pack up your things and just go off somewhere and be by yourself, you and God. Or it may be like a partner left, or you had a divorce, or hope it doesn't happen to you out there, or if someone has gone to the other side. It could be for many reasons, or it could be your children are grown and you don't have a partner, or maybe it's even just friends that have fallen away since you started your walk. You started that spiritual awakening. And so being in solitude and being on the inside of your heart space is what's going to help you actually manage your thoughts, your emotions, those inspired actions that you take, and your feelings. Okay? And so solitude is actually a way to help you recharge your your inner batteries. And also to manage all that beautiful creativity, your energetic field, your vibrations, those, the frequency that we have, and to raise it, and also the magnetism. And solitude can also develop that strong sense of self that we need, that confidence, bravery, courage, those things. Solitude can also help you develop the passion that's inside of all of us. And I'm not talking about passion with another person. I'm talking about the passion that drives you for that specific purpose and that specific destiny that we each one of us have. And so we have to discover who we are. Who are you? Well, first I can tell you, you're a magnificent creation that the Creator created so long ago. Remember, our souls don't perish. Only the physical body does. And so some of us are very old souls, some of us are new souls, and some of us in between, right? So we have to discover who it is that we are, right? And so for a long time, when I first awakened, I couldn't get that sort of in my head enough to stay on the inside. I would go on the inside and then I would pop back out and then take on everyone else's thoughts of me, kind of thing. And you don't need that validation that the world has to offer. So long ago, I, got rid of the matrix that I was in. I finally figured it out. And staying on the inside of your heart is where you need to be. You've got everything in here, and you'll find that all these things that you're trying to do will come much easier, will come much faster. If you stay on the inside, get to know yourself, get to know who you are, reflect on who you are, and then keep moving, keep moving. Sometimes it is that we need to slow down a little bit. Sometimes we, want to go fast. We want to go from square one to the destiny. And that's not what we need to do. The journey is what's so important, and that purpose, finding the purpose. And I'm going to tell you that, a lot of people, I heard, I don't know, it's been a few people, was texting me back and forth saying, well, Dan, what happens if I don't like my purpose? Well, I can promise you, you're going to like your purpose because, number one, it's already inside your heart. It's in the passion that's in your heart, and you and your Creator came up with that. Came up with what the purpose is. But you can ask if it's not working for you, or you're not resonating so much anymore with that, or maybe you found something that really magnifies your heart even more than that original thing. You can talk to Spirit, talk to Source, of what it is you want to do. And so solitude can, as I said, can lead you to greater confidence. And that's part of our problems, is we've been beat up by the world because we were on the outside, right? This is what the world teaches. You grow up, you do what everybody says, you go to public school, you listen to the government, whatever it is. And so this is what happens to us, is we are taught a very different program than the way we were created. And this will, by being on the inside, is what creates that very clear sense of purpose. And again, without that purpose, what are we? We're a ship just wandering around on the ocean, not knowing where we're going, not knowing where we're going to end up. And it feels that way too, right? Have you ever felt like, I keep going from job to job, relationship to relationship, and nothing seems to really light me up. Nothing really seems to just put me on fire, right? And I was that way at one time too, because I had to from an early age, I I wanted to know what my purpose was. Why am I here? I felt like I knew that I was here for something specific, but I couldn't just quite put my hand on it. And this was back when I was a teenager going into my 20s. Um, this solitude that will help you with that focus and the concentration. Sometimes when we concentrate on the wrong things, it destroys everything we built. Like social media is a big destroyer of that, because when we get up in our head and we're back there ruminating over the past, whatever it is, and let me just open up a parenthesis here. So when you sort of ruminate on the past and you go back and you relive all these things that happened, whatever they were, first of all, that's not going to do one bit of good. There's nothing you can do to change it. It's already been done. You've already lived it. Okay? And so living the past and letting that circulate around and around and around, then the ego gets involved. Okay? And that ego is something that eventually, if you haven't done it yet, eventually you'll need to do it, and that is to lay it down. We don't want to destroy our ego because it's there for protection, but we have to lay it down so that we can make the changes, make the decisions that we have to make. Now, solitude can also can be your superpower. We all dream of having that, opening our shirt up and having the big S, Superman, that kind of era that I'm sure we all watched. But this is a superpower. This is a real superpower, because solitude can actually get you out of the situation for a time period, and to be able to figure out who you are, what you want to do, what your purpose is, and how will you develop that purpose. Okay, so when you have relationship after relationship, and you've got children, and you're going from job to job, and you got all this stuff, I'm going to call it chaos, organized chaos, it's much harder to be able to concentrate and to be able to understand where it is that you're headed, right? And so actually solitude, when you come out of the solitude, will actually strengthen your relationships like you've never seen before with other people, whether that be a partner, a romantic partner, whether it be friends, children, job colleagues. And so you're going to feel much more centered when going back to relationships and being refreshed. You'll be much more successful. Solitude also allows you to cultivate something that you've heard us talk about a lot, and that's gratitude. Gratitude is very necessary, because what that does is that opens up this heart. It's always great and a good thing to tell your spirit team, the divine, almighty, your angels, what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for. What are they doing in your life that has brought peace, security, brought the purpose to you, helped you get it started, whatever it is. And when God, Spirit, Source asks you, sort of to go into this solitude mode, it's not forever. Don't think that you're maybe alone and you're going to well, I guess I have to spend my life alone now. No, that's not the purpose of it. The purpose is to develop you, to prepare you. And in that preparation, at the time, I know some people have said it's just too painful. But what it is, God will never ask you to do something above and beyond what you can do, right? But to prepare you means you have to work through some of the challenges, the obstacles maybe that have been in your life in the past, to work through those. And as you do that, what happens is that strengthens you. That makes you stronger and stronger. And so as you do that, sometimes that pruning process that we all have to go through can be painful at the time, but if you open up that faith and the trust that God has given you, you're going to find that you're going to cultivate that deeper and deeper and deeper. And so this is where spiritual power comes from, is by exercising the faith, the trust, the resilience. You heard me say the courage before. Courage to look in the face of fear. And, a lot of people think if you have courage, then you don't have any fear in your life. That's just not true. There's always going to be situations maybe that come up that you'll be triggered, but you'll have that courage, you have the resilience, you have the faith, and you have that trust in the Almighty and your divine team. And so, we need to let our mind rest. I'm not saying to turn it off completely, but let it die down a minute and operate from the heart. And get out of the past. The past is not going to solve anything for you, other than you can reflect on the past, but that's only like a one-time deal, 2 times maybe, and then you know what not to do, right? You know not to do that anymore because it didn't work out so well, right? So get into the present, not the future, the present, okay? Because sometimes when we go into the future, then we start making all kinds of plans or putting our hands all over things that we've already told universe that we already want them to deliver to us, or abundance that we're asking for. And then when you put your hands all over it, you're trying to control the situation. That doesn't work out so well either, okay? Because your team can't do what it is you're asking them to do, okay? So also, solitude allows your subconscious to work its magic. That's where all that magic happens. Churning out all the creative designs, the abilities, whether, it could be singing, dancing, starting a business, starting a bakery, public speaking. There's so many, when I like to, the people that have been doing this for a while, I like to hear what they're into, or what they ended up doing, because there's so many variety of things that that can happen. So solitude actually helps us with all of those creative ideas not to be burned out, and something that also solitude will help you with is being mindful. All that, and you've heard us talk about mindfulness before if you followed us, is usually we talk about the breathing, the meditation, the prayer, the spiritual practices, the journaling. And don't forget to breathe deeply when you're doing those breathing exercises, because as you experience anxiety, and this is a real thing, those people that are diagnosed by a physician with, hyper anxiety, this mindfulness actually will reset your breathing system, meaning your lungs, all the capillaries that are attached there, your diaphragm, all of those things. And so it's not just something that that is just something somebody made up. This is a real thing. Try it. If you've never tried it before, try it, and you'll find out that it will only enhance your life. And then, of course, the reflection that we've already talked about, the connection to something greater than yourself. And, also, as we contemplate changing our life from what we did in the past, now there may be hurts, there may be broken relationships, there may be, people have done you wrong, or, whatever it is, practice forgiveness. Because, forgiveness doesn't make it go away. Forgiveness doesn't take the scar away. What forgiveness does is it releases that person, but releases you before even the person. So if you would forgive those people that have done, something negative to you, maybe, it will actually release you from running around in your head, from thinking about, I hate that person, or I'm never going to forgive them, or I'm going to hold a grudge, or I'm going to get revenge, or whatever it is, of all those negative mindset that you have. Forgive them. That doesn't take away the guilt. That doesn't take away from that person. That releases them too to be able to say, oh, okay, maybe I need to take a second look at that, okay? And forgive yourself. When you release that person, or first, I don't want to say it wrong, when you release yourself from that situation, forgive yourself, because quite possibly there is going to be feeling on both ends of that. Not only the person that wronged you, but also you're going to feel kind of like negative within your energetic system, meaning vibrations, frequency. And so the longer you hold off of doing that, it creates wounds inside of us, inside of the emotional system, our heart, that gets pushed down, okay? And then eventually that's going to come up and you're going to have to deal with it, okay? And so, again, it doesn't take away the guilt of the other person of doing that to you. It's not going to make you forget about it, but you can move on with good feeling. You can release all that gunk that's built up in there from that, whatever the situation has been. And so as you do that, you're going to see that you're going to become much lighter. You're going to be able to raise your vibration. And in order to move to the place that you want to move to, and whatever your purpose is, we'll always be struggling with that, whatever it was from the past. And that's why you don't want to be up in your head and constantly be, going back over it, reliving it, and then your ego, starts feeding all that stuff to you, and there's no moving forward when you do that. So always operate from in here. And so actually, being in solitude for that bit of time is actually abundance, and it's going to help you overcome, the fear, worry, doubt, anxiety, and especially despair. Sometimes some of us have, the imposter syndrome, especially if you start holding on to grudges and all that kind of thing. And talk to your spirit team about it. Release that to them too, because they are the ones that will take care of, of the other person. They're the ones that will visit them and, whatever needs to happen. And so, as we go through this solitude, we actually will develop that authenticity so much better. And so, as it develops the authenticity, what you're going to want to do is revisit your self-awareness system. Now, I dropped a video, it's been quite some time now, but I think I went over like maybe 12 modalities that will actually enhance what you're trying to accomplish, and that's through look at your core beliefs. Sometimes we have to delete beliefs that maybe we had a long time ago and insert the new ones that we now have, or maybe you don't need to replace any of them, but for sure you want to delete all of the self-limiting beliefs. And now those are the ones that people made you feel a certain way, usually from childhood and adolescence. Things like you're never going to succeed, you're too fat, you're too thin, you don't have enough money, whatever, there's some hateful things that people come out with. So as you develop, you get rid of the limiting beliefs, you check out your core beliefs, look at your habits, and in that video I went over how you get rid of all your bad habits and you replace them with only good habits. Excuse me. And so remember to cultivate continuously faith, trust, the resilience, and live that moral life. And what I mean by moral, I'm not just talking about the three-letter word, physical love. I'm talking about what is your heart's desire? It shouldn't be mansions, expensive cars, those kind of things. Let it be working your purpose, helping humanity, coming together, these types of things. Live that moral life, and the more and more that you can not be out here on the outside, the more you can be inside your heart is going to make a huge, huge difference. So as we develop authenticity, and you guys that have followed me for some time, you're going to know, okay, he's sounding like the broken record again. But quit comparing yourself to other people. Quit comparing what somebody else's destiny is, what this is, what that is, the easy time that you think they're having, what they look like, how much money they have. When you're on the inside of yourself, you're not gonna see and feel all of these things. Once you start developing that authenticity, you're going to speak your truth. You're going to only have what's your truth, not someone else's truth. So, and don't worry about what other people think about you. I know it took me a little bit of time, but several years ago I got there. It doesn't bother me what other people think, because, really that's not any of my business, okay? It's not my concern what someone else thinks about me. That's between the Creator and them. That's not even something I need to even address or even be concerned about. So all the growth starts. I know that you probably watched the video I made of coming out of that specially wrapped box, right? Meaning your comfort zone. So as you come out of the comfort zone, and you're developing the authenticity, you're going through that period of solitude. This is where you're really going to thrive. This is where you're really going to feel like, okay, I got this. Yeah, I got this. I'm managing my energy grid. I'm healing. I'm awake. I've healed most of my wounds and my inner child and all these things. And this is where you will actually turn the corner, and you're going to actually not have that fear, that pain, those doubts, that anxiety, that despair. You're going to turn it into joy, into love. Pour love into yourself. And as that those limiting beliefs that I was talking about, if once you delete all of that, once you lay it down and you alchemize that, or you acknowledge, surrender, and release that to universe, you're going to notice a huge difference. You're going to only have peace, love, joy inside of your heart, and this heart's going to open. And people that you come in contact with, they're going to notice, wow, you really changed, from what I remember back before. Have power over your mind. Don't let your mind control you, or your soul is what I'm saying. You can master your mind. And there's only one way to happiness, and that's to wake spiritually, to do the healing, control, or I don't want to use the word control, manage all the thoughts, the feelings, and those emotions. And I know it sounds like a lot, but once you start, like one takes care of the next, takes care of the next, takes care of the next. You see what I'm saying? And so it's not as laborious as you may think, but allow yourself, and then transformation. You'll receive that beautiful personal transformation, and be motivated. What motivates you to jump up out of bed every morning? I don't. Used to be, I had to have an alarm clock, in order to drag myself out of the bed. But now I don't. I wake up without the alarm clock. I already know what I'm going to do the next day, and I don't want to take so much time out of this video to keep repeating other videos, but it's helpful. Don't reach for your cell phone the first inkling that your eyelid opens. I like to be able to do the breathing first, like while I'm still laying there, and then think about the gratitude. Think about what you're grateful for. Do the breathing, maybe think about what the agenda is for the day. And this will push you into that great startup. Have a good breakfast, a cup of coffee, whatever it takes, get your shower and whatever your getting ready routine is, and you'll find that your day will actually go so much better when you do that. But be motivated. Motivation doesn't come from the outside or from your coffee, as a lot of people think. Motivation comes from deep inside your heart, in your soul, and so when we look after our personal growth, we need to seek the depth of authenticity, because this is where the real magic starts to happen. This is where you speak the truth. You don't have that mask on anymore. You're not pretending to the world that you're something else that you're really not. Okay? So again, the healing is extremely important. I just wanted to mention something here. And again, we need that alone time with God, and I have a love for a song, and I guess you would say it's sort of like a Christian song, but I don't consider it like that. The song Oceans by Hillsong. there's a lyric in there that says, "Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander." And this is something that, if we could only experience that, you're going to be able to see. I mean, this collective. I know and you can feel the energy shift, right? It's splitting, and when we put ourselves in that place, where we can when we put ourselves in that place where we can experience the love that comes from within our heart, once we clear all that gunk out of there, all that low vibrational energy, all that, feelings of anger and revenge and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that once you see that your vibrations are they easily rise when you refocus your attention. That's all you have to do is refocus. And it's something that I see out here all the time. It's not just the political system of the day. It's just that there's so much division. Division is not the end. We have a shared destiny, whether you believe it or not. We each have a shared destiny with each other. We need to institute those random acts of kindness toward each other in our heart. Be part of the healing. Be part of that renewal. Very soon, you're going to see that with the energy shift, there is going to be a new, how can I say, a new revolution, or a new, what's the word I want to use? Not revolution, really, but a new revival among humans. It's time that we unite with each other. Stop the division. Stop the infighting. Stop all these things. There's no sense that we can't even talk to one another. Okay, and I'm not talking political. I'm talking about really all of it. Let the heart touch other hearts. Let this inside part be the answer. Unlock those hidden gifts. We're all born. I get very passionate here, so we're all born with talents, with spiritual gifts, with spiritual power. But what happens is we grow up in this outside world. We grow up with all the hatred. We grow up with all the whatever it is that goes on out here. All the low vibrational energy. We grow up with all the drama, that is in everybody's lives, right? And so if we could only see, by healing, by waking up spiritually, starting to heal, pay attention to the synchronicities that Spirit has given to you. Pay attention to what's going on. Okay? Not only, I'm not saying to go to the outside and just pay attention. I'm saying from your heart space, your soul is dying to give you the answers. It's dying to tell you how much stronger, how much more powerful you are. Do you guys out there realize how powerful you are? Because I don't think most of the people even realize what you're capable of. Answer the call. When spirit says, who wants to help? Who wants to do this or that or the other thing? Answer the call. And there's so many of us that want to help you. If you if you're in the position that you're just not sure what to do, you've got so many problems, I feel you. I hopefully soon I'll have the videos that I wanted to put out about my own testimony, because I really believe, and it's not because I'm a great orator or anything like that. It's just because what Spirit, Source, Universe, God has done in my life, and I mean all of it, from my birth to this moment, and you can see I've lived for quite a while. It's so transforming. It's amazing, and you know, you've got answer the call. Especially the call to wake up, to to start healing whatever's deep inside. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay, nothing that humans slash spiritual beings haven't dealt with already. It can be done, and I just want to give you, to lead you. I'm just the conduit here. I'm not the person with all the answers. You can lead someone to water, but you can't make them drink. You know what I mean? And so, if I can help in some kind of way, constructively, with your questions, with how to do a certain thing, or what the experiences have been, please contact me. That's what I'm here for. And as the energy shifts, I know you can feel it, just the whole world. And when I was talking about there's a new way to do things, I'm not talking about just the United States. I'm talking about the world, the whole globe here, because we see there's strife everywhere. I know that misconception of ideas, of misunderstandings, of all of that. There's a much better way to take care of this. Much better way. We don't have to unalive everyone. We don't have to put somebody else down in order to feel good. We don't have to not take care of our brother, not take care of our neighbor. I can remember a time growing up when someone had passed. We all went to that person and took things to them, made sure that they were okay, uplifted them. But now, it's not that way, and so I'm not here to preach a sermon. I'm just here to say I'm one individual, and I know the power of love. I know the power of being inside this heart space, and I know the power that each one of us have deep, deep, deep down inside of us. Remove all the onion skins, all the layers and layers of gunk that's in there. Okay, and I'm not saying you have gunk, so don't misquote me. But let's all work it together. Let's be ready for the energy shift, and I'm here for each one of you, whatever you need. And I love each and every one of you. And I just want to see, I do see the collective rising, and I do see around the world, not just here in the United States, but I see changes are happening, even though they're happening slowly. No doubt about that. But let's all be part of the solution, okay? And thank you for listening. I love you. And until the next video, you have a great day and a great New Year's, okay?